It's Saturday, April 25th, and 2026. I live in Richmond. I'm alive. I live in Richmond. It's funny because someone tried to ask me the other day. I think he already knew I wasn't a housed person, but he tried to ask me, like, what area I lived in. And I really have thought about, just saying this area or that area because I'm alive and I'm in those areas sometimes. So I live in those areas. But instead I stumbled over not wanting to have my boundaries crossed. But it's raining and I am kind of on like the equivalent of a porch. But I was kind of thinking about dogs and dog houses and dogs having an entry into a regular home very often, especially in a storm, and supposed to get quite a bit of rain like all night, and then I think for the next several days there's supposed to be quite a bit of rain. And I called the Housing Connection hotline and to see if they were going to be opening the inclement weather shelter tonight, but as of now it is not being opened. And living outside when the weather is warm enough is possible, but being in the rain, if you are not able to be out of the rain, being soaked is definitely, lowers your temperature, like lowers, like you're cold, And I was also thinking at the same time that I could go on about all the complaints of what isn't, that I feel I'm supposed to actually not lie to myself, but I'm supposed to be as content as possible with the things the way that they are right now, because I finally chose myself and I got up and out of an abusive marriage, and that made me lose everything because everything was based on lies and everything was an illusion. So I will be receiving all that I have given, all that I am, all the positivity and love that is me, all the creativity that I poured into the world, whether it was sewing clothes for my children or strangers, or baking cookies I sold and jam, or soaps and lotions and all the things I craft, or my poetry in more recent years, all the diapers I've changed, all the children I've kissed and loved, not just kissed and said I loved, but have loved, do love still, even the ones who have become abusers and molesters, and it breaks my heart that they have, but I still love them, the real them, not who they've turned themselves over to, some entity that abides in them now where they used to live. But being as joyful, finding joy, like I spent so many years denying myself and, quote, taking up my cross daily to suffer for Jesus. He's us, It's all just a big scam so people can energy harvest off of you, but me choosing myself, it doesn't end here with me being on the equivalent of a porch and not having a home, being unhoused, not having my children. It doesn't end here. This isn't the end of the story. This is just a chapter. It's not the end. It's not the end of the story, and when I get to the end of the story, it's still not the end of my life. It's going to be a really good book with lots of turns and divots this way and that. But more than that, my story will be used to change the laws so that governments cannot oppress the people by being tyrants and camouflaging their tyranny with puppets, donkeys, and what's the other party, but it's all just a mirage, an illusion. Religion, as we know it, will be a thing of the past in a little while, and it'll all be worth it. Even my sweet Ethan being murdered, it'll all be worth it for the mass of humanity to come out of this slumber and wake up and no longer be under illusions. So everything it's cost me, or is seeming to cost, I will reclaim my children, at least my minor children who have not yet become pedophiles and murderers. And it's so much bigger than me or my family. This is about reclaiming humanity. Because certainly alien that are evil have come and taken over so much of Earth by living in people and teaching, using the secret societies and religion, teaching human sacrifice and cannibalism, drinking of blood, making a religion out of it, and just hiding it in plain sight, while certain ones, part of the secret society, feast off of the energy or the aura of children and other innocents, people who are not cannibals, people who are not devouring other people, and using black magic and entities that they're being lied to and promised all kinds of whatever, fame or fortune or to own a business or whatever it is. But it's just a bunch of illusions, and they're all coming down. And the Bible will be known for the harmful illusion that teaches human sacrifice, and it will be banned. It will be burned and banned, and we won't permit it on our shelves any longer or in our hearts. And there will be a mass awakening. Many people will awaken. Their third eye will open. And all that really means is that we no longer live under illusions. Whatever is true. Wait. Excuse me. I don't play the game of pretending. Pretending a marriage is happy when it actually is miserable. We live in truth. Truth that looks squarely at all the ugly, all the shadows, all the little crevices where we hope nobody else would look, and we certainly weren't wanting to look. And when we look, the whole world opens up to us. Excuse me. If we would only look and acknowledge the things that have happened, and maybe the way that it had turned us bitter or hardened us in some way, or just through trauma had shut down certain aspects of ourselves that we need to invite to come back online. And that's really what it is, to have an awakening. There's no Jesus or he says, it just means he says. That's all it is. It's not real. It's not a deity. Asmodee is the deity of the blood cult called Christian. It's entities that are very dark. I'm probably alien as well, but I'm not evil or dark, and and I'm certainly not all love and light either, because I believe people should pay with their lives. I am mostly love, but vengeance, penalty, death for death. I definitely believe that now more than I ever did when I was a Christian. And excuse all my sniffles and things like that, but the unhoused will be housed, because right now we've been living in a slave society, and if you don't go along with the program, you pretty much don't find work. And you don't find work because you know that this is a slave society and you're not willing to be a slave any longer. And it might look like right now I've lost everything, but actually I've gained everything, because I put the person that I see when I look in the mirror above any other person on this earth, and that's what I needed to do. And yes, that is very trying if you have children that you love. I hate that my children are being abused, but I had to get out of of the situation that I was in, and I have been hunted, I have been stalked, I've been being stalked every single day, but attempts have been made on my life. I would say beyond counting, attempts that I don't know about, except for, you know, like I know I was hunted that night where I ended up being arrested falsely and going to jail, and I know I see the people who were being sent in to try to handle me. You can't handle me. I'm not handleable. I can't be handled. My rank far outweighs these people, and the truth is coming out. Is it taking longer than I thought? Yes. Is it still gonna happen? Most definitely. So, I'm gonna sit here and enjoy the sound of the rain. I do think that humanity being regained will mean the end of being unhoused. All the people who are unhoused will live in the homes of the people who are devourers of humanity, who are really vampires. And those people are going to die. And it really is that simple. And then, it's kind of funny, but then new heaven and new earth, like in the Bible, it really will be a new heaven and new earth. It'll be a new world where we live differently. We live with heart. Not eating hearts, but we live with heart. We live with passion, and we follow our passions, which isn't to eat people, but it's to express through art. And it's going to be beautiful.